Yes, yes, Anil.
Fair enough, fair enough. Good afternoon, friends. All the students who are participating in this practical business plan competition on behalf of Luthra College, which I think that it is my own college, and I'm very sure that during 3 weeks of participation process, you will learn a lot. Your faculty members at your college must have told you n number of times that participation is more important, result is less important. Result is of course important, but participation is important. And on the way to your participation, you must ensure that you pick up some lessons so that in future those lessons are useful to you. Luthra College and other colleges keep on organizing these type of events for you students to ensure that while you participate, you learn the basic ropes of essential ingredients of doing this particular exercise, so that these ingredients and the lessons are useful to you whenever they become practically important for you in your practical careers. So as you all are aware, Spectacle is a business plan competition wherein various teams would pitch for their plans to win, and the jury will decide whose plan is the best. Whether your plan is best or not, my dear friends, what is important is that you should know how to make presentation of your plan. And for that, in these days of internet, all of you are aware of certain concepts like templates. There are n number of templates available around which you can weave your entire concept so that almost every aspect that is important for presentation is captured. Accordingly, I'll try to give you my own version of a template which you might like to tweak here and there, adapt a little, make changes, and ensure that your presentation is really satisfying. When you make a presentation before the jury members, you should come out of your presentation being satisfied and happy that you did your best and your presentation, according to you, was satisfying. So the whole theme is how to prepare a winning business plan or business plan PowerPoint presentation or a pitch deck. In this world of startups, these presentations are also known as pitch decks. So moving forward, typically, I mean, once again, over the last half an hour, whatever I'll be sharing would be, you know, would be a sort of range around which you can accommodate your content depending upon the volume of content you have. Typically, in a business presentation, I'm the firm belief that you should not have anything more than 10 slides. Just 10 slides are sufficient to make your point. If you have 15, 20, 25 slides, I think you have not got the point that PowerPoint presentation is to, especially the pitch deck or the presentation or the business plan that you present before the potential investor or the jury members, is not to tell everything about your project. It is to ensure and to create sufficient curiosity amongst the jury members or the investors such that they would like to they would like to know more about your project and would like to see that your project is successful. Accordingly, there should be typically 10 slides in your presentation. It can be 10, 11, 12, but certainly not 20. You should also be aware as to how much time you will be given for your presentation. If you are not aware, you should ask the organizer straight away as to what would be the time given to us. Let's say you are given 15 minutes of time. Please don't prepare for 15 minutes. You should prepare for 13 to 12 minutes only, because you are going to expand. When you speak, you are going to expand. In a practical manner, I must share with you that while I have prepared for about 20 minutes of this presentation, I'm likely to unzip myself and expand to approximately 35 to 40 minutes. Accordingly, you should also plan such that at least you are able to complete your presentation in the time given. And the next is very important topic, very important lesson upfront that I like to share with everybody without going into the details of the contents of the successful business plan. Never ever make a PPT the way I have put it on the bottom right corner of this slide. It should be typically what I have shown on the entire slide, that is a few words and 3 sentences. If you make a presentation or the slide the way it is written on the lower bottom part of the part of this presentation, believe me, it is going to be an unsuccessful attempt on your side. How it should be, that I'll share with you again. Hygiene factors, the students of management would know from organizational behavior studies of their subject what are hygiene factors. Hygiene factors are no guarantee for success, but if those factors are not incorporated in your work, it is a sure shot recipe of disaster. What I mean by hygiene factors is that whenever you make a presentation, PowerPoint presentation, whether it is for this business plan or your college's in-class presentations, never ever make your font size less than 30 fonts, because what you can read on a paper in 11 font size, you cannot read even content of 20 font size if you are about 15 to 20 feet away. Hence, please make it sure that none of your fonts are less than 30 font size. Here, although I have made all the fonts in font size more than 30, but I have made a small word on the right side that is low, which is approximately 18 font size. Although all of you are on computers, you can see it. But if this 18 font size is sorry, shown on the PowerPoint in the classroom, people in the classroom would not be able to see it. Hence, in any PowerPoint presentation, the font size should not be less than 30. How many points should be there in a PowerPoint slide? I would say typically not more than 3 points. I'll show you how. In the previous slide, if you could see, I had approximately 3 points in large enough font sizes. Approximately 3. Yes. I did. It is not on slideshow, but on my screen it is showing slideshow.
Hello.
Abhi,
Here it
Anil
is not.
sir.
let us go. Yes.
Anil sir,
Yes.
Pratik
Yes.
this side. You have to share
What?
the entire screen.
Okay.
Unshare the
Hold on.
screen.
Hold on. I'll do that. I understand. I try to do it. I understand.
Okay, sir.
Give me
Okay,
one
sir.
second.
Okay, sir.
Is it correct now? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Is it on full screen? Hello.
Nothing is visible.
No, sir. No, sir. We are not able to see the screen.
Yes. Yes. મેં તમને PPT મોકલેલું છે. Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir,
Yes.
ma'am.
So going on to the next slide. So we were discussing about the hygiene factors. What I mean by hygiene factors are these are the essentials. So words per there should be typically three. There should be typically 3 points per slide, and in every slide there should be typically previous slide there should be about 7 to 8 words. Never ever make any PowerPoint slide with grammatically complete sentences. If you want to take one lesson home from this presentation, it should be this message. Never ever make a complete grammatically complete sentence in your PowerPoint presentation. Just bullet points. And what are the bullet points? Whatever bullets you have, approximately 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever number of words required, those words should help you recall the content that you have prepared, which you should be able to speak directly into the eyes of the person who is listening to you, like jury members or the class or etc. Even most of the faculty members who are experienced faculty members would never ever look continuously into the slide. Accordingly, you should also see to it that you speak to the jury members. Next. While in this world of a lot of templates being made available, you can be tempted to make your PowerPoint very, very jazzy. But in this attempt to make your PowerPoint jazzy, you might lose some of the essence of your content. Hence, try to make slightly good stuff, but not overstuff it, right? Simplicity is the hallmark of ultimate sophistication. Next. So there should be typically 10 slides, and the first slide should be what is known as title slide. What it should contain next. Next. It should contain project name, company name, names of the team members, and the contact details. Your project name should be shown in very bold words on top of the slide, so that the persons who are seeing your presentation should become aware about your topic upfront. Many a times what happens is that half the way even the jury members are not clear as to what is your project all about. In the first slide itself, you should come out very clearly that this is my project, this is the problem that I am solving, and this is the solution that I am providing, and then you explain. Right? Next. Second slide, very important, especially when you are talking of business plan or even startup pitch deck. Startups, compared to traditional businesses, startups are supposed to solve some problem whose solution is required on one hand, or otherwise they are creating something new for which they think that there would be huge demand. So you have to come out very clearly as to what is the problem that you are solving. To describe or explain in few words as to what is the problem you are solving. More importantly, how big is the problem? If you are solving maybe an important problem, but which does not have a sufficient market size to make your project viable, investors are not going to be interested in that project for investment on costing. Secondly, even if you undertake this project or this business of your own, you would not be able to make sufficient earnings to survive yourself. Hence, it is very important that the business that you are thinking of should have at least some critical size. So you have to very clearly spell out as to what is the size of the problem that you are solving. Thirdly, why it is important to solve, how it will make changes in the lives of the potential customers, how they will improve lives of your potential customers. How it can be done, I am not going to prescribe many things to you. I am just going to explain how things are to be done. Once in a while, I might give you some examples. I typically tend not to give examples because the participants would like to follow that particular example. However, in this case, we can say I am coming up with a truckers aggregation platform. These aggregation platforms are like Flipkart and Amazons of the world, whereby you are saying that lorry owners or the truck owners of this country are still very, very unorganized, and there is a huge opportunity to bring them on one platform the way Uber has brought potential riders of the car and the car owners on one platform. So you say I am preparing a truckers aggregation platform, wherein in India the so and so research report says that there are 4 lakh individual truckers. I'm not talking of fleet. There is a transport called TCI which has 500 trucks, but individual truckers who do not have organized marketplace, but the opportunity for this platform is huge. Potentially, I think we have done some research. Potentially, we as a team think that to begin with, once our platform is live, within 1 month, we should be able to generate approximately 1,000 transactions daily within 1 month, and 1 year down the line, if our plans succeed and if our marketing strategy succeeds, we should be able to generate a volume of approximately 10,000 transactions per day. So this summarizes the size of the problem and the volume that it can generate in a nutshell. So the rest of the things can be explained in the next slides. It may be that you are not solving an existing problem. Previous slide. It may be that you are not solving a existing problem, but you are coming out. Previous slide. You are coming out with a absolutely new product which has never existed in this world so far. Like approximately up to 2005, the mobile phones had only keypads on them. The touchscreen concept was not there. So if you have not seen the concept of touchscreen, you would not have problem with the keypads on the mobiles. But some inventor had found out that it is possible to do away with the keypads and introduce touch screens. So that would be a new pleasurable experience that you are proposing to the potential market, maybe in this case the whole world, whereby the potential customers do not even know that this solution exists. So in this case, this can be another way of explaining your business. Third slide should be typically what is the value proposition. In the previous slide, while introducing your product, you did say something about the volume, etc. But here you are giving in detail as to what would be the potential customer base of my business. Like if we continue with this truckers aggregation example, you might say that my platform would touch and improve the lives of approximately 10 lakh truckers of this country. If you are solving a problem of potable water, you might say that we have plans such that we will change the lives of the villagers of approximately 10,000 villages the way they consume potable water. If you are an e-commerce delivery company, making an e-commerce platform is one business, and just delivering the e-commerce products is yet another a huge platform. So you can say that we are thinking of approximately 1 crore e-commerce deliveries per month. So these numbers do not come out of blue. They do not come out of thin air. They come out of sheer hard work that you must have done through your prior research, etc. So these are the 3 slides we have talked. The 4th slide, the next slide should talk about, what is the next slide? How are you more capable to solve the problem that you are discussing compared to others? What I mean by underlying magic is that what is the technological strength that you have as a team, or what is the secret knowledge you have, what is the experience that you have, such that your business would succeed compared to various competitors existing and those who would be coming in the field in future also. Preferably, you should make a diagram. You should make a diagram and try to see that it is shown in the flow chart and probably in the schematic also. If you are coming out with an app or some sort of website or some sort of e-commerce platform or whatever, something related to software development, you must have done some homework such that those who are in the field of app development, etc., would understand these words called wireframe, and the screenshots you all understand. But if possible, try to get wireframes from your software developer or
Services.
app to the potential jury.
Mehul,
सर वॉइस नहीं आ रही सर.
Mehul, I think Saragi sir, some internet connection problem, I think. जी.
હમણાં રીજોઈન કરશે.
Yes, can you hear me now? So can somebody put the PPT? But where is the fair enough? But where is the PPT? Yes. So what I was sharing with you, my dear friends, is that you must necessarily have some strength. Being students, you may think that you do not have that much of experience or some strength which you can discuss in your business plan before your jury members. However, it is very important to practice this skill of presenting your strength to the potential investor or the jury members as far as the business plan is concerned. So you must find out some strength that you think that your team has as far as this business is concerned, and then you should speak out loudly in your presentation. The jury members understand that you are college students, you do not have 20 years of experience under your belt, but the moment you say that we are having so and so strength, would communicate to the jury members that this team understands the importance of particular strength required to win in this particular game. Hence, it is very important that you talk about your particular strength as far as this presentation is concerned. I did say about the screenshot and the wireframes. If possible, if you have done some what is known as prototypes or some samples you have prepared, try and get some pics of them and show them to the jury members if you are presenting virtually, and if you are presenting physically, try and carry those samples and the prototypes that you have prepared and try and show them to your jury members. That will convince the jury members that you are not only talking about the business plan, you are already on your way to attempt and to give it a serious try as far as this particular business is concerned. Next very important concept is that in this world, especially in the 21st century, howsoever you may think that you have a secret technology, once you are in the market, people would be able to decode your technology sooner than what you think. Before you reach critical volumes, competitors would have understood your business, understood your technology, and they would be ready to launch a competing product. Investors are not investing in any good idea. What they want is that how good is this idea protected? What I mean by how good it is protected is that how difficult it is for others to copy this business model. So if you have some secret technology, if you have done some innovation, if you have done developed some new machinery, etc., have you ensured that others would not be able to copy that technology? For that, there are various mechanisms available. One of them is patenting your technology such that others, even if they know the machine that you are using, they cannot copy it. Other very important aspects of protecting your business as a whole is the intricate systems that you have developed. You might suggest that although seemingly it is a very simple business, but there is a lot of logistics required, that there is a lot of system integration required, for which huge amount of experience is required, and our team has the necessary experience, which if others even know that what business we are doing, even if they attempt, they may not be very successful. This is not the right platform to talk about how systems oriented business is generated, such that even if competitors know that there is nothing great technology in manufacturing and marketing a soap, however, small time operators or even big time operators cannot succeed and compete against likes of Unilever, because the business of soap and business of toothpaste is no rocket science, but the management systems that they have developed is so intricate and so fine-tuned that it becomes difficult for the competitors to survive. Hence, how you are going to ensure, if you become successful, how you are going to ensure that others are not able to copy your business is at least sometime half a minute or 1 minute you should give in your presentation, that if we succeed, our plan to protect our business is as follows. Next slide should typically contain what is known as slide number 5. How are you going to do this business? How are you going to monetize your business? Having understood your idea, having understood your idea of protecting the business, having understood how big is the opportunity, the jury members want to listen from the participating teams as to how you are going to execute it, how you are going to generate revenue out of it. In technical terms, in business parlance, it is known as what is your monetization plan. What is your plan to rope in new customers? How do you enroll new customers? How do you make them pay? Many very successful apps and the software websites are very successful only and only as long as they are free to use. They may have some business plan, or they may not be intending to generate profits out of those businesses. But if you have some plans to generate revenue, how do you make these free users of your product or the website or the app to pay you money? This is a very uphill task, because in this internet world, what you want consumers to pay, others are serving this content free of charge. The moment you start paying, customers or the users of your website are likely to shift to some other website or some other apps. So, have you thought of any plan to make them pay if you are in an app-based business? What is your per unit economics? If you are into app-based business, what would be the cost of bringing one customer, not customer, even the user onto your app? Even if that user is using your app for free, he doesn't come to your website free for you. You have to spend some money in promotion on various social media platforms or on some Google AdSense ads, etc. What would be the cost of bringing one customer on, one user onto your app? If you are into some physical goods, like let's say if you are selling calculators or if you are selling some furniture items, etc., what would be the cost of bringing one potential customer to your showroom? You have still not made him buy your product, but there is a huge cost involved in bringing your potential customer near to your product. What would be the cost of bringing your cost of bringing a potential buyer to your product? That work you must have done. You might think that as a college project, all these details are difficult to gather. Before you tell me so, I am upfront saying that it might be difficult for you to get those details. But you should do some homework and some cursory data, some preliminary data, some hypothetical data, although hypothetical but seemingly practical data, you should present in your presentation such that the jury members really understand that you have understood the concept of a business plan. Once the customer has come to you, at what price point do you want to sell that goods to your potential customer? My dear friends, some of you might be aware of what I am going to share with you right now, and but to some it might come as a shock. In general theory, we say that my selling price depends upon my production cost. Believe me, in practical life, your selling price has absolutely nothing to do with your cost of production. Let me share an example with you. Let's say Apple's iPhone's latest model's cost of production. I'm not talking of research and development expenses, but the cost of production is on the higher side, approximately 15,000 rupees. But the Apple company is not going to price it at 15,000 plus 50%, that is approximately 20,000 rupees. How it is going to price is the price at which the customers can absorb it. Most customers can absorb it. Most customers can buy it. Accordingly, the brand value that they have created is such that irrespective of the fact that their costing is 15,000 rupees, they can sell it at 1 lakh rupees. Costing is 15,000 rupees, but the real market price is 1 lakh rupees. What I'm trying to drive home is that the price at which the consumer buys your product has nothing to do with your cost of production. Another example, let me give you. Due to some reason, some other companies manufacturing mobiles whose cost of production is, let us say, for example, 30,000 rupees. And if this company wants to sell it at no profit at 30,000 rupees, customers are not going to buy it. They will say, this product I will buy maximum at 10,000 rupees. I hope my message is clear. In this world of competition, the price of a product is decided by the market. It is the marketplace which decides at what price your product will sell. At that price, if you are making profit, that is good. If you are not making profit, the only option available to you is to tweak your costing, to reduce your costing such that you become sustainable. Hence, selling price, it should be related. I mean, this is my cost of production, but the value that I'm creating for the consumers is such that while my cost of production is 10 rupees, I will be able to sell optimally at 50 rupees. That is how highly innovative companies sell their products. Next topic is something peculiar about your industry. Like, is there something very peculiar about your product? Like, let's say, for example, you are into effluent treatment products, or if you are into pollution control products, or if you are into some waste management services. All these services are highly regulated by certain laws of government. If you are into this type of business, you should be aware of those regulations, and you should share upfront with your potential investors and the jury members that we know that these are the rules. We have made sure that so far as we have understood, we are complying with the laws of the land as far as this business is concerned, and we will continue to update ourselves as far as the related laws are concerned, so that our business doesn't come to a grinding halt for non-compliance of essential legal provisions. Because investors would never want that your company is caught on the wrong foot for not complying the legal provisions. Next very important topic in this slide itself is that what are the entry barriers for your competitors to enter into the business that you are in. Once your business is successful, many competitors would like to replicate your business. When they try to replicate your business, how difficult it is for them to replicate your business is decided by the entry barriers. Let me give you some example. Just about 2 days ago, on 23rd itself, I was at Luthra University for this type of business plan competition only. One of the students team came up with a reasonably good idea. Like they said that they want to set up a platform, food delivery platform for very large campuses, very large educational campuses, whereby the distance from one corner to another corner is to the tune of 1 kilometer. And there are multiple canteens on those campuses, and the students, if they travel from their place to that canteen, it would be a huge time involved. So they said that they want to set up these localized food delivery platforms, especially for the large educational campuses. So their business plan was reasonably okay, and we discussed. But the entry barriers to this business are so low that any team of 3 or 4 tech students can replicate this business very easily. So what I said is that while you may be able to implement it at Luthra, maybe a few more colleges by reaching out to them and taking permissions from the administration, etc. But it becomes very difficult for you to make it a pan-India success story, because some students sitting in some huge university campus in Assam, for you it is very difficult to activate this platform on that Assam University campus, because it is logistically next to impossible for you to approach that university's administration and seek clearances from them. But the students sitting there would be able to replicate easily and would be able to implement this concept in their university. Hence, this business is a good business, but has very low entry barriers. Hence, the scalability becomes a question. I'm not saying that it would not be scalable, but scalability becomes a question. Have you thought about these challenges, and do you have any solutions to these challenges? Are some of the aspects that you should try to cover in this slide. The next thing is slide number 6, which would typically talk of how do you plan to reach out to your customer. Like in the previous example of food delivery on the campus platform, first thing that is required is to reaching out to the college campus administrators. Even if you are successful in one or two campuses, in order to scale, nobody starts any business to remain small. Everybody aspires to make it a big business. But once you have started, in order to expand, what are the challenges that you are likely to face that you should be able to think at least right now? You might not have ventured into solving that problem right now, but you must have thought of, and you must have some clarity about how you are going to face this challenge. Like in this example of food on campus delivery platform, food delivery platform on campuses, how do you reach out to the college campus administrations? This is a big challenge. Sitting here in Surat, even if you have a team of 3 or 4 members, it becomes very difficult to reach out to the various large campuses of even India. If you are thinking of reaching out to the campuses online through email, etc., I'm not very sure how it is going to be successful. But then you must have some plans of reaching out to your customers. If you have some physical product, are you going to sell them online? Are you going to sell them offline? Are you going to sell them through franchise route? What is your plan to reach to your customers is go-to-market plan. You should have done some homework. You may not have a perfect plan, but you should talk about this issue in your business plan. Next slide should invariably, most important thing that you should discuss without fail is what is the competitive landscape. Those who are not from management background in this competition might like to note down this little jargon as to what is your competitive landscape. What I mean by competitive landscape is that who all are your present competitors, or else who all are likely to be your future competitors once you become successful. If you say that my product doesn't have any competitor and in future also there will not be any competitor, investors and the jury members are likely to be suspicious of your business plan. I'll share as to why I'm saying so. Any good business idea which has a potential to generate business, potential to generate wealth, would certainly attract entrepreneurs to try their mettle in this business. If nobody is trying this business, you may have a conviction that this has a huge potential, but the business community as a whole thinks that it doesn't have commercial potential. You may be right, because you might have some special strength which others do not have. So you have to come out very clearly as to what is the competitive landscape. Believe me, the more the competition, more likely are you to be successful. Let me share why I'm saying so. If there are a lot of competitors, that means a lot of people think that this business model is a viable business model. That means a lot of people have already validated this business model. That means if 7 players are already there, and if you enter as the 8th player, you might not be able to outsmart them. Okay, if you do not have any special strength. But if you are not doing something extremely wrong compared to your competitors, you will be able to at least survive, because there is a huge market, at least this much of market, which is absorbing 7 competitors. This market would be able to absorb you also as 8 competitors. So more competitors validate your business idea that this business is a viable business because 7 players are already there. So much so good as far as the now if you are talking of some real competitors, you should be able to spell out these are the strength of my ex-competitor, these are the strength of my Y competitor, and against them, I am slightly weak on this aspect, and our team is very strong on some aspects which competitors are not having. So this type of small chart, if you prepare, the jury members would be highly impressed, and that would give you also a very great insight about how business competition is likely to unfold. Next. My dear friends, in this complex business environment, solo entrepreneurs do succeed. I am not saying that solo entrepreneurs, that is single person business, is not viable business and they will not succeed. But what I'm trying to say is that a solo entrepreneur cannot make a big business. For making a big business that is sustainable and that can face the furies of competition, what is required is a team, and team of not necessarily of same strength. Team members should ideally have complementary skill set. One person should be good at tech, another person may be good at marketing, third person may be good at production management. Believe me, if you are into production based business, if one of your team members does not love shop floor, your life is going to be very difficult. Because if you hire everybody on the shop floor, it is in fact it is on the shop floor that the wealth is created. And if you do not like shop floor, I would advise your teams to be staying away from the production business. What I'm trying to drive home is that your team should have complementary skill set, and you should demonstrate that and discuss that in your business plan. You may not have a perfect team. You might be lacking in some aspect, but you should be aware that we are into this business whereby finance is a very important aspect, but we still do not have a co-founder to take care of our finance aspect. So we will rely upon some hired talent. But then, if everything goes right, we will rope in some co-founder to take care of our finance aspect also. That will make us a 100% rounded team. That is how why you might like to present your team before your jury members. Next slide. Financial projections. Ultimately, whatever business you do is to generate revenue, and you should have some projections. Even if you have not gone to great details as to what are going to be your revenues 1 year, 2 years, 3 years down the line, you might like to prepare some Excel sheet which appear to be at least realistic. You must have done some homework, and whenever you present your financials slide to your potential investors, to the jury members, if they ask some questions, you should not be taken absolutely off guard. You should be able to explain the question. At least some attempt to explanation should be done. How have you come to this figure of, let's say, 10 lakh rupees of sale per month 1 year down the line? If somebody asks you how, you should be able to explain at least a little. If you say no, well, that we have put just like that and we do not know how these figures are come, that is not typical of a successful businessman. A successful businessman would put or speak anything for which he or she has at least some initial response. You may not have some detailed response. So what are going to be your expenses? What are going to be your revenues? What is going to be your cost of production? What is going to be your sales expenses, etc.? You should be able to tell. Next. Last and most important slide is what is the current status of your project. Is it still only at the idea stage, or have you made some prototype? Have you gone to market? Have you spoken to some potential customers? Have you done some validation? Is your prototype ready? Is your some if you're talking of some manufacturing facility, is your factory ready? Have you installed some machines? These are the things that you should capture. And what I mean here by current status of the project is that project timeline should also be discussed, that in about 2 months we would be ready to launch our product commercially, and 3 months down the line this would be the situation. 6 months, gone are the days of 1 year, 2 year, 3 year timelines. These days investors want your timeline in months. What will be the situation 1 month down the line, 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, and at up to 1 year? What are the achievements that you have done so far? Have you filed some patent? Have you discovered some technological aspect which is unique, so that your business would become protected and it would not be susceptible to the market competition, undue market competition? Next important thing in this slide or the next slide that you can talk is that in this business plan competition, you may not be required to ask for money. Let's say for this project, as of now, we want, let's say, 10 lakhs of rupees, or 10,000 rupees, or 2,000 rupees, or 10 crore rupees. Irrespective of amount, you should be very clear as to where do you want to use this money. Without being clear as to where do you want to use this money, you should not open your mouth. So that the persons who are listening to you understand that this gentleman or this team has done their homework, and they have come to us just not like that, just not for the sake of participation. Presenting your business idea before a jury members may be a 20 minutes task, but the fun and the enjoyment that you get out of preparation for this presentation, which might take you approximately 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, that process, if you enjoy, then only there is meaning in this participation process, in participating in not only this event but any other event. And when you come prepared, having done some 5, 6 hours of homework, when you face with this hard work under your belt, when your jury asks you any question, the way you respond would be substantially different if you have come absolutely unprepared. Participating unprepared, my dear friends, some faculties and some students may not like, but is a useless, futile exercise. Presenting is the end result of 5 hours of your work. So it may appear to be a 10 slide presentation, but for 10 slides, you should have done some 5, 6 hours of homework, so that when jury members ask you questions, you can respond to them. Next slide. Some helpful tips I like to quickly say. Never undermine existing system. Let's say if you're talking of some education related system, some education related business plan, never say that today's Indian schooling education system is very bad, or the college education system is very bad. That is not going to take you anywhere. Next is that whatever data you speak, you should have some backup available. You may not have very, very highly rated research, etc., but some backup is required. Complementary skill set of your team should be highlighted. You should have some domain experience. If you are talking of some, let's say, trucking business, trucking aggregation business, although you are students of management or engineering and you do not have any experience in this lorry transportation business, but out of 3 members of your team, 1 member family business may be related to transportation, and your team members might have talked to those owners for about 15 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours. That would go in as a some domain experience. typically you should personally have some domain experience, but being student, if you do not have, somehow you can borrow this type of experience. Ideally speaking, in order to make a business success, a domain mentor is highly recommended. So if you can somehow catch hold of some domain mentor who is ready to give you, let's say, 1 hour every week. 1 hour every week is not very difficult. If you can get somebody from Surat who knows this business, who has been into this type of business for 20 years, and he agrees to give you, let's say, 1 hour every week, maybe pro bono, or maybe he asks for some 5% of equity, you might like to consider that, because his name itself, two benefits. His name itself is going to take you places, one aspect. Another aspect, his experience would help and ensure that the mistakes that he has made in 20 years of life, you will not make, because he will keep you correcting whenever you are making any mistakes. Next, helpful. One more slide is there on the helpful tips. Can somebody change the? So follow a template, but if the benefits of following a template is that whatever are the essential ingredients of any presentation would be taken care of. Don't put everything on the slide. You should be speaking from your brain and your mind directly into the mind of the jury members through their eyes. When I am speaking right now, while the PPTs are there in front of me, you can experience that I am trying to speak directly into your eyes, and I am not reading onto the PowerPoints. PowerPoints just keep us on your track, that this is the topic, this is the point on which I am supposed to speak. If you cannot expand on a PowerPoint bullet point, and on that bullet point, if you cannot speak 10 sentences of your own, you need to rehearse. That much I can tell you. Speak directly into the eyes of the audience. Here on the laptop, I am not very sure how I am able to connect my eyes with your eyes, but I am trying to see that I am looking at a point which ensures that I look directly into your eyes. If you are making presentation physically, please ensure that you look directly into the eyes of the jury members. Be lively. Intonate your volumes. Modulate your pitch. Speaking in a continuously boring, monotonous volume is not the right way of making presentation. Here on laptop, I cannot experiment a lot because we go out of frame. However, if you are making physical presentations, don't overdo it, but use your facial gestures, your neck movements, and your limbs. Move a bit. That goes on to convey the message that it is not only your mouth that is speaking, it is your entire body that is involved in trying to communicate, and that would make your presentation a lively presentation. Engage your jury about 2 minutes per slide. Although the slides are supposed to contain only 3 points, but you should be able to speak for about 3 minutes on particular slide. Rehearse without it. This presentation I might have made about 5 or 6 or 7 times, but today also I spent about not more, but at least about 2.5 hours to refresh myself, and some of the content like this slide and the previous slide, believe me, I have prepared specifically today itself, because the more you rehearse, more prepared you find yourself in making presentation. If possible, not necessarily, but if possible, every team member should be given some opportunity. If some member is, not very good and is very shy, still he should speak one sentence and the rest of the part can be taken up by others. Ideally speaking, everybody should be given equal opportunity, because this is an opportunity to learn, right? Next. This you might like to note down. I have a habit of sharing what resources I had used in preparing this content, because that is what is transparency all about. Guy Kawasaki has been a great investor all across these last 15-20 years. He firmly believes that in a startup business uh, uh, pitch deck, it should not be having more than 10 slides. And if you go online, Guy Kawasaki 10 slides pitch deck, you will find some templates also. So in this one-way communication method, I can go on. I do not know how many of you are sleeping, but I think that most of them are still there. And if you have any questions, you can speak out and ask me questions, and you can put in chat also so that the faculty members can ask me the questions. Thank you. Thank you for the patiently hearing.
I request all the team members to ask their queries.
Even the faculty members can top up the content or ask some questions. I mean,
So can I ask one question while students are listening? When it comes to budgeting, budgeting is a big thing which the judges on stage, and it is very difficult. These students are very fresh, and putting up a budget is difficult. So can you give them some tips as to how they should project their budget?
yes. So judges who are understanding would realize that these students would not be able to prepare a perfect budget. But what jury members expect from the students is that the students or the team should understand the importance of preparing a budget. These days, templates are available on the net. Even if the template is very complicated, you can remove most of the contents and keep only simple aspects, very basic aspects of a budget, like budget for next year. What I can recommend to the students right now is that budget for next year, total expenses, salary, rental, raw material, this is amount, approximately 10 lakhs of rupees. Contingencies, 2 lakhs of rupees. So we expect approximately 12 lakh rupees on expense side. We budget for 12 lakh rupees on the expense side. Since we are still not producing commercially, and we are likely to be selling 9 months down the line, in the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th month, we expect to sell products of 1000 rupees each and 100 units each in every month. So let's say 1 lakh rupees every month. So we will be selling material worth 3 lakhs of rupees. So our revenue will be 3 lakhs of rupees. Hence, our budget will be a deficit budget for the first year to the tune of 7 lakhs of rupees. And this is what would be carried forward to the next year's budget, whereby we are likely to be surpassing our revenue compared to expenses, such that this 7 lakh rupees of deficit will be absorbed. To the students, what I spoke right now might be slightly difficult. But then, my dear friends, the only way out is to Google a bit, get some simple explanation of the concept that you want to put in your presentation. Don't go by very complex and lengthy budget preparation. Any budget, any template that gives you a budget in 4 or 5 rows, that template you should pick up, customize and adapt to your requirement, and certainly put it on your PowerPoint, and making a clarification that we are not students of finance, but we understand the importance of budget, hence we have prepared it, and down the line we will take help of professionals to make a perfect budget.
Thank you, sir. That was quite helpful.
Anil sir, we have a question from Naitik Patel in the comment box.
Yes, can you read it for me?
Sir, he is asking that how do we choose the mentors?
Very good question. It is one of the most important thing. If you have the right mentor available, believe me, believe me, in this world of startup based activities, your 50% work is done. How you should pick up the mentor? First criteria should be that he should have relevant experience. He should have relevant experience. Even if he is not responding, even if he keeps on avoiding you, you somehow have to develop strength in yourself such that he starts getting interested in you. If he is a good mentor, he should realize potential of your business. If you can a 100 crore rupee valuation business, it will interest in your project. Even if, I mean, I'll go to the extent that even if you have to travel to the other cities like Bangalore or Bombay or Delhi just to talk to him for 1 hour every month, please do so, because the value that they generate is immense. Let's say if you are talking of some e-commerce related activity, and if you have some related person or somehow some college alumni who is working in Flipkart, and he says that he is ready to be your mentor for 5% of equity, and but he says that you have to go to Gurgaon every month for 1 hour of discussion with him. Believe me, accept that opportunity.
Okay, sir. Students, we should. Any more questions?
You can go ahead.
Yes.
No, sir, please continue.
So I didn't. I did continue. The last thing that I like to tell the students is that, in order to understand any concept, it is very important that at least at the end of the session, you should be able to ask a meaningful question. If you are sitting in a class for brand management for 1 hour, even if you have understood everything, we believe that the faculty is very good and you have understood everything. After 60 minutes of presentation by the faculty, you should be able to ask a meaningful question such that answer to that question improves the understanding of the whole class. That takes you one step higher. So if you inculcate this type of habit in your classroom and every presentation that you participate, like Natik asked a very simple question, but that added value to all the participants. Similarly, if you can ask some questions that would build your confidence also, and probably it would add value to the whole class also.
Sir, we have one.
So,
Prashant.
competitive edge. I am not the right person. Probably Michael Porter is the right person who talked a lot about competitive edge. So that was on a lighter side. But in business, believe me, it is only and only your competitive edge that makes you survive. It is not only for the individuals. It is not only true for the companies, but even for the whole countries and the nations. I'm not very sure if somebody can correct me. Michael wrote a book about competitive nations. Nations go bankrupt because they just do not have any competitive edge to sell any goods to other countries. How to develop competitive edge in this world is to develop some skill, some technical skill. I, being a management guy, I'm all out for management skills. but management skills get topped up on your technical skills. Hence, you should be good at domain knowledge. Whatever business that you are talking of, if you are talking of manufacturing soaps, you should be good at soap technology. If I give you some personal example, some of the faculty members are aware that currently I am involved in a big time startup which is into manufacturing of ceiling fans. So ceiling fans, the electrical engineering I left about 25 years ago. Just over the last 6 months only, I am studying fan technology as far as the stators and rotors and the way things move in a fan, to the extent that today I am reasonably competent to talk to a technical person on technical terms as far as functioning of a fan is concerned. What I'm trying to drive home is that there is no shortcut to the long route of developing competitive edge on one side, and on the other side, there is no life without competitive edge. Lastly, irrespective of all other skills that you have, you should have at least some basic strength in speaking out, making your point to the other party. May not be in a public setup, may not be in front of 60 participants, but at least to your boss, at least to your junior, you should be able to come out absolutely clearly, such that he or she understands what you are trying to say. This is one skill that without which even your technical and competitive other competitive advantages will be very difficult to exploit for you. Thank you very much. So too much is better or too little, and why? Can you substantiate this better? So whenever I ask anybody who is trying to explain to me something in, let's say, even my clients are trying to explain to me something over the next 10 minutes, I'll very politely interrupt them and tell them, please tell me your problem, please tell me your problem, or whatever you want to tell me in next 10 minutes in one sentence. And then you can unzip that. So too little and too much are not contradictory to each other. It all depends upon the setting in which you are speaking. So the presentation that I made in, let's say right now, in 1 hour, I can very easily, comfortably complete in 10 minutes also. And I can expand meaningfully without getting you bored, without repeating material for 10 hours also. So that all depends upon the setting in which you are. If you are undertaking a 3-day session, 3-day, 5 hours each session, you have to give opportunity for the participants to respond. Here I cannot make you respond, because the moment I ask you question as to what do you think about this thing, it would be another 15 minutes. So too much or too little are depending upon the situation. I hope I could make some sense.
Any other queries, students? Okay, so I would like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Mihir Tanakya, sir. He is from the Express Iron, the main sponsor of our event. We acknowledge the presence of Mr. Samir Desai, sir, the co-founder of Franchisee Insider. Mr. Samir Desai, sir, is one of our mentors. The main sponsor of our competition is Express Iron, your personalized market planner. We have our fitness partner, that is AV Fitness. Our eyewear partner is Eyecatcher, the optical store. I request Mr. Mehul Mehta, sir, Assistant Professor of SR Luthra Institute of Management, to propose the vote of thanks.
Yes, audible.
Thank you, Mehul, and I thank the entire Luthra team for inviting me and sharing, giving me this opportunity to share my views with budding entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Anil sir, thank you.
Thank you. ચાલો હવે આપણે bye bye કરી દઈએ.
Yes, yes.
So we have completed our session. So I would request all the participants to leave the meeting.